I remember I played this the other day.
Пожалуйста.
And I said this was please. And you said, no, it's you're welcome. And then I moved. We moved on, but then I was editing the pod, and I was like, did he just say that пожалуйста means you're welcome? Because I've been using
both.
Oh, thank God. Because I was so nervous because I was like, bro, I've been using this for I literally at this point, probably over a year, probably over 2 years, and saying like, please. Mm-hmm. Oh, shoot.
Пожалуйста.
And being like, please,
Пожалуйста.
But, follow the pod. And then I heard you say when I was editing the pod that like, well, it means you're welcome. And I was like, have I been using this wrong this whole time? And now Chad decides to tell me that I've been using this wrong. If it's both, is it like bitte and
bitteschön? It's exactly like bitte.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you can it takes on about 48 different meanings depending on where you're at. I gotcha. But please is one of them. Mm-hmm. Okay. Sorry, I asked you that while your mouth was full. All right, I feel better now, so I can continue using it how I've been using it. Okay. All right, now I'll play the theme song. Now that I know how I've been using пожалуйста.
Пожалуйста. Привет. Здравствуйте.
See, now that's the only thing about this new situation that I've adopted, and I can actually go back to my old situation. I have a dongle now. But I can't play drops on top of drops like I could before.
Ooh. We need the drops on top of the drops on top of the drops.
I have I have a new dongle. We can do it when next episode I'll have it.
Nice. Hello and welcome to the Untranslatable Podcast. We are here today to talk about overrated and underrated, some of the top and maybe also some of the worst summer travel destinations and also activities. So it'll be a fun one today to talk about some of the most overrated but also some underrated things you might be able to do this summer or places you might be able to go visit. So without further ado, my man who always comes with his 5 to 7 months of research for our episodes, my good buddy Jared. What's going on, Jared?
Yeah, that's very true. I always say that with Untranslatables. You guys everyone that listens, you have merely adopted the Untranslatables. Chad and I were born
live
in
them.
Bred by it. I don't remember. Now I'm trying to remember what Bane said. Born in it. I don't know. But anyway, hello. Hi, Chad. Your background, by the way, is just registering. That seems like a summer hell situation. That seems like a Castaway situation.
On a deserted island?
Unless I'm Cristiano Ronaldo, that's a terrifying situation. It's like, oh no, what you can't see because you're poor is that there's a house within there, and there's a helipad on the other side.
Or it's all just underground.
My water plane or whatever, right. And then the water plane has an attachment where a submarine goes underground to the garage.
It's actually my custom-made Lamborghini jet skis.
Yeah. You also can't see the racetrack that's within here. I own some old Formula One cars. Speaking of Formula One, I'm also getting an Indy car nowadays. Just so you know.
Nice.
My sport. I'm turning into a sports person. It's a very weird thing. I watched the Indy 500 yesterday, and it was very exciting, even though I didn't really know any of the people. But that's all irrelevant. Welcome to the pod, everyone.
When does NASCAR come?
It's next. It's just the only barrier is figuring out how to do it. That's the barrier. But it'll come. It'll be there eventually. Chad, so let's talk Untranslatable podcast related things here.
Let's do it.
We've talked about your upcoming trip to Germany, which is apparently going to be a month from now.
I'm hoping.
Apparently, because no ticket has been purchased. There's still a pandemic, even though we're vaxxed up. But I have another route for you that I think you might find quite...
cruise ship across the sea.
Enticing. Now, here's the deal. It's an airplane.
Okay.
These airplanes are legally certified to be flying in the air commercially, but it's not Lufthansa. So,
I don't know.
And I'm going to be honest with you, it's not even one of my favorite airlines.
You mean it's not Spirit or Southwest?
Now, how dare you? I think I've probably flown on Southwest once, And every time I fly on Spirit, it's begrudgingly. No, this is United
Airlines. I think
Airlines.
I've flown on Spirit twice as well, so I feel you.
United Airlines came into my circuit a little bit more because in Philly it was more prevalent than the airlines I was used to, like Delta. I think it was more of not a hub. I don't think it was a United hub. Maybe it was, but there were certainly more United flights than we have here from Detroit. But anyway, this is what United is doing. United has a sweepstakes to give customers to give vaccinated customers a shot. Excuse me. I'm confused because they use a pun and it throws me off because I just want a normal title. United Sweepstakes gives vaccinated customers a shot to win free flights a year of travel.
How do we sign up?
Your shot to fly, quote unquote. You know, see, this is why we need the proper shots, because now I have to go and find it and slip it. Wrong one. There we go.
There we go.
Listen, I'll have the proper setup next week. This is janky, and I understand, but your shot to fly sweepstakes aims to encourage COVID-19 vaccinations in support of the Biden administration national effort to encourage people to get vaccinated. By the way, just so you know, this is from United's websites. Okay. United's website is what I meant to say. So this is not some sort of journalistic lean. This is United's post.
I'm waiting for Domino's or Pizza Hut to be like, a year's worth of free pizza if you get vaccinated.
Have you not heard of Krispy Kremes? They had.
Oh, did they do something?
They were giving. I think they have like a year of free donuts for people that are vaccinated.
So hey, you get vaccinated, but you might get diabetes.
Yeah. I mean, which would you? I guess which would you prefer? No,
neither.
Let's not even get
neither.
into that. That's the right answer, Chad. That is the right answer, and I'm mad at myself for even
I'd like to be vaccinated, but
that.
Not. Yeah,
that's the right answer, and I'm mad that I even asked that. I apologize.
Anyways,
I'm just trying to make
that's
content here. United is only U.S. airline. This is really, by the way, hub.united.com. This is from United Airlines, and this is I'm reading this. United is only U.S. airline where customers can upload COVID-19 testing and vaccination records directly to airline's app and website via the Travel Ready Center.
But I'm sure that's going to become more common. I'm sure.
But I don't think that's. But let's be clear. I don't think that's a requirement.
Right.
I don't think having the test or vaccination is a requirement for domestic travel, at least, is what I'm saying. Domestic travel.
Not yet. We'll see.
United Airlines is offering its loyalty program members the chance to win free... Oh, you have to sign up, though. You have to sign up to be part of the...
Of course you do. There's always some catch. Of course you do, Jerry.
I mean, of course, you have to have some sort of account, I guess, for them to track who you... Yeah,
right.
That makes sense. You got to sign up for their... But you don't have to be like some certain level. You just have to sign up for it, you know?
Right.
The chance to win free flights for a year's worth of travel in support of Biden's administration, as I said. Under the terms of the Your Shot to Fly sweepstakes, any new or existing Mileage Plus member who uploads their vaccination records to the airline's mobile app or website between today, which was a couple days ago, and June 22nd can be entered to win a round trip, so there's still plenty of time, a round-trip flight for two in any class of service. By the way, they said can be entered to win a round-trip flight for two in any class of service to anywhere in the world, the United States. Anyone that would... So essentially saying if you get coach, you're a fool. Is that what they're saying?
Yep.
United.
Yep. Sounds about right.
I feel like. Listen, I've only read a couple of sentences, but already I'm like, my first thought is, all right, I'm going as far as I can, and I'm getting the most closest seat to the front that I can. Well, not maybe the front, but like the most highest quote unquote class, whether it be business class or I don't know if United has like. Emirates level showers and bars and bedrooms, but they do have some sort of business first class situation, of course. We're proud to be part of we're proud to do our part to incentivize people to get their shots, said United CEO Scott Kirby. Thanks to the vaccine, more and more destinations are opening up for travel, and we know our customers are eager to fly. We're excited to give people one more reason to get vaccinated so that they can reunite with friends and family or take the long-awaited vacation, which all could be just one shot away or two. Listen, I'm all here for. I'm here for this. There have been a lot of various incentives for people to get the shot in the past couple of weeks, and sometimes I look at it and I'm like, oh man, I could have waited a little bit and gotten some cash out of this or whatever. But I don't even care about that. I honestly don't even care about that. I'm more just like, listen, whatever it takes. I don't need any of this stuff that is being offered, but I understand that it's a cool incentive, and honestly, I might. I get so nervous giving out so much information.
Right.
Just in general, I told you a couple episodes ago how I happily give fake email addresses, and phone numbers, and addresses all the time.
They're actually all my info, by the way.
In places where I'm quite confident that it won't affect me legally. I'm not doing this on my tax returns or anything.
Just some random PO box.
But a year of free flights is quite the incentive,
I wouldn't mind that. That'd be nice. I'm still waiting for my Krispy Kremes, Jared.
I mean, you gotta take the first move on that. By the way, I have one more thing I want to talk to you about real quick. I know we've talked a lot. We've chit-chatted. It's been great. I love it. By the way, once again, I mentioned I'm the editor, so who knows how much of this anyone will hear. But Happy
Next
Memorial
podcast
Day.
Episode is like 5 minutes long.
Happy Memorial Day. And it's the worst Memorial 5 minutes I can possibly find. It's me trying to find a drop, so it's just silent.
It just makes no sense. It's just the intro is just hello and welcome, and then just wait 1 second. Yeah, and then some drop. There you go.
Happy Memorial Day, Chad. It's a time to honor. By the way, I know this episode comes out on Thursday, but it's we're recording this on Monday, Memorial Day, the final day of the Memorial Day weekend, where we should be honoring those that have passed away in combat. Our Vice President, Kamala Harris, she tweeted. Did you hear about this? On the 29th, which was
2 days
Friday.
Ago?
She tweeted, "Enjoy the long weekend."
Uh-oh. Watch out.
People were mad.
I'll bet they were. I'll bet people are big mad, Jared.
I'll read this. Can I read this to you real quick? This is from the New York Post. So Vice President Kamala Harris drew heat online Saturday for telling Americans to enjoy the long weekend. By the way, this is a tweet that also involved a lovely selfie of her face.
Hashtag Memorial Day. Hashtag
looking
USA.
out onto her. No hashtags. Once you get to a certain follower level, hashtags it's just
just corny.
Not corny, but not
cheesy.
What's the term for unclassy? That's what I'm looking for.
Unclassy.
Anyway,
tacky.
It's once you have millions of followers, there's no reason to be doing these little tricks to try to get more people to notice you. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have 687 followers. Excuse me, 608. No, well, first of all, Vice President Kamala Harris. Let's see how many followers she has.
Probably
she
2
has
million?
10 million 10.4 million followers. So 10,400,000 followers on Twitter. She does not need to be using hashtags. But anyway,
okay, fair enough.
Let me get back to this article
tweet.
Real quick. Yeah.
Happy long weekend.
Enjoy the long weekend. I just want to, because they quoted some people. That's what I want to get to. Reactions to the tweet were largely negative and sarcastic, with one user replying, "I've never been able to enjoy Memorial Day," with "enjoy" in quotes. "It became that much harder when I lost my son fighting for this country. Thanks anyway, Madame Vice President." Long Island Rep. Lee Zeldin, a Republican from New York, finished Harris's short sentences, ... and paid tribute to the courageous men and women of our nation's military who sacrificed their lives in defense of our freedoms and liberties, he wrote. Even some admirers of the female Veep did not hesitate to share. You've never heard of Veep before?
I haven't, no.
There's a whole TV show that used to be on Showtime, I believe.
I just like the way it sounds, Veep.
called Veep, and it was about the vice president of the United
VIP.
States. That's a. Have you heard of POTUS?
No. President of the United States.
You've never heard of POTUS?
No.
How old are you, Chad?
Old enough?
Yeah, no, that is the right answer. Old enough to know what POTUS means.
I know what POTUS means.
You've never heard. No, it's not a show.
Oh, what is it?
Oh, okay. No, okay. You said
I've heard
you've
the
never
term
heard
POTUS. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
Thank you. You said you okay.
Sorry,
I understand.
I understand
you've never
show.
heard.
Sorry.
Okay. I understand. Maybe you've never heard Veep. That kind of makes sense.
Veep.
But
VP.
I was wondering. I thought you were saying you've never heard of the term POTUS either, and I'm like, that is almost
I've heard of
concerning.
POTUS.
That's okay.
President of the United States. POTUS.
Yeah. So Veep is the vice
president. Yep. Veep. Sorry.
So what a disappointing tweet from a person I like and support. Please do better. One wrote. Twitter is the. By the way, this is the New York Post, so it's so easy to find just the sort of the lowest of the. Like if I were to, they don't have who wrote this. They don't like what do you call it? They don't source these tweets, but if I were to find out who these people were, it's probably like 10 followers, 38 followers,
right,
12 followers. It's like
just some rando.
Listen. I don't mean to downplay these people that have lost family or people they know in combat, but I'm gonna say personally, I've been to a variety of Memorial Day celebrations, and I've never witnessed like a proper celebration personally. And I think it's just, to me personally, when I see this, it's just like, yeah, people just, this is what social media is specifically, and also like opposing political opinions. It's just like, let me find, like, oh, this is a perfect place to like, what do you call it? Dunk on someone is what they call it.
Right.
And
especially
like,
on Twitter.
All right. Yeah. It's like, I get it. I understand. But it's like,
Jared.
I will say it is at the same time, I will say it is a little surprising just to be like, enjoy the long weekend with the selfie. I think what's more sort of surprising to me than enjoy the long weekend is, hey, listen, I understand she's the vice president. She's not posting this stuff, but I would never, ever in my life personally post something like that and then just post like a glamour selfie of me. It's like, she's not doing the gun.
She should
like
have
this, but she's like looking, and it's a great selfie. She looks great, but it's just like it's a bold move. It's like, it's interesting to post this. I think I'm just thinking of it from the marketing head. Because this is essentially a marketing move when you do these sort of posts like this. And it's like, it's interesting that you chose to do the selfie of you like looking out onto the people as the picture. I just find it as an interesting choice. It doesn't bother me, honestly, at all. But I just think, if I think about it from a business standpoint, which is essentially this stuff kind of is, it's just like, oh, that's an interesting choice. But it's a great selfie. I'll give her that,
It would have been better if she...
Or it's not a selfie, by the way. It's not a selfie. It's a great shot. It's not a selfie. I keep saying selfie.
Would have been a better
picture
shot if
her.
she had a mimosa and she was on a yacht.
That's hilarious.
That's the way to do it.
Enjoy the long weekends. I'm not working on Monday.
That's right.
I hope you're not either.
That's right.
She's got a hot dog in hand.
Get me on my yacht, baby.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Right. That's
got
right.
a cigar in one hand,
right.
mimosa in the other. Chef's coming out serving her. This is Water Force 2 or whatever. I don't know how they name. They they have some sort of boats. I don't know how they name them. But yeah, I just found it interesting that it's just it is Memorial Day.
It's a little tone deaf, to say the least. Just a little bit.
I guess so. But
well, how do you not mention? I mean, did she tweet something today about Memorial Day?
You know what?
Probably did. I bet
I have Twitter right here. I can easily just
you
open
can
up
find
her
that
Twitter
out, can't you?
In a matter of seconds.
The beauty of the internet.
Yeah, of course she did. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay.
Throughout our history, our service, men and women have risked everything to defend our freedoms and our country. as we prepare to honor them on Memorial Day. We remember their services and their sacrifice. This was May 30th, and the thing the enjoy your day or thing, your long weekend was May 29th. The success of our nation depends on strong middle class. That's why the American. Oh, that's something different. But that's on May 30th.
I take back my tone deaf comment. I think people are just being haters. Haters gonna hate.
Yeah, especially since it was on Friday. Memorial Day is not. I thought Memorial Day was on Monday.
It is.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just
It is.
It's like, so you're telling me as I don't know, people enjoy. Is it not like it's like people enjoy a long weekend? I don't know how that is such a controversial statement.
I read actually an article that they were talking about we should switch to a 3-day weekend. And
just in general,
I agree. Yeah, just in general, 3 days.
Aren't there some European countries that do that?
I mean, France probably does. Italy might. Spain probably does. They probably do.
It's hilarious. I was thinking like Sweden or Finland or something. They're like,
they might.
But
or like 4.5. Like you go a half day on Friday.
In China, they work 6 days a week, right?
Or they work 8 days a week.
Well,
in China,
sure.
Japan as well.
but I believe at least I've in jobs that I've had before, I've had interactions with companies in China, and I believe I've heard that
they're always available.
Yes, but specifically that in their sort of I don't know if it's legally or whatever that they have a 6-day work week. That it's like I think
so. Yeah, I think that's pretty common.
That it's like Monday to Saturday is their work week.
I've even heard at least when I was looking into potentially working and teaching in Vietnam that teachers over there work 6 days a week as well, and that turned me off a little bit to say the least, Jared.
Yeah, because you're a weak American. It makes sense. It makes sense, and I don't blame you.
Although I work 6 days a week right now.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, but between two different jobs. But that is true. And that is like most Americans, because this is what this is what you have to do these days.
America.
Yeah.
That's
the
right.
land of the free. Listen to our last episode.
That's
do you
right.
want to get into some untranslatables, bro?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it. Well, Jared, as you know, I'm hoping to go to Germany for a friend's wedding. And let's do some German untranslatables, untranslatable are idioms, proverbs, sayings, axioms that don't always translate on a one-to-one basis into English. And we are your untranslatable certified experts. And I will get us started today, Jared, with a German. Yeah,
it's funny that you say that we're your untranslatable certified experts. Mm-hmm. That in itself is it's a weird way to say it. I would say certified untranslatable experts personally.
That's fair.
I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's an interesting way to say it. Now, please give me your untranslatable. I'm sorry.
My first one for you, and all of mine, I think, for you today will be German. And this first one is aus dem Schneider sein.
From the, what is it, Schneider, some sort of, I don't know, Schneider is
That's tailor, isn't it?
Yeah, I was about to say it's interesting because Germany has a lot of like last names that represent the job that someone had, but like Schumacher.
Yep. Shoemaker.
One that comes to mind immediately. Mm-hmm. But I knew Müller. Schneider was something like that. Oh, yeah. What is that?
A miller. Someone who works in a mill.
That's a very common German last name. Yep. I knew Schneider was something like that, but I never knew what the job was that it was related to. What is it again?
Schneider tailor.
A tailor. Okay, okay. And these are these
to be
old
out of the
jobs.
tailors.
To be out of the tailors. Is that like to be looking fresh? Looking fresh to death?
No.
Okay. To be out of the tailor. Is that like you're out of your mind?
No. That's a good guess.
Is that like out of the tailors? Is it that closely related to the idea of a tailor?
You would say this maybe if you were in trouble, but then you solved the problem.
Oh, it's like you dodged the bullet.
We have another untranslatable that has to do with nature. You're close.
With nature?
One that has to do with nature.
Nature versus nurture?
What do you call a place with lots of trees, Jared?
Nature.
That's pretty neat.
The wilderness, the middle of nowhere.
Getting warm. Nope. Just start with the W.
Wonderland.
The
wilderness.
The
wild.
The starts with a W.
Starts with a W.
Lots of trees. Another word for forest.
The vault.
The woods.
Oh, the woods.
The woods.
So the forest and the woods. What's the difference between? Is that what it means? The woods.
Well, our untranslatable has the woods in it.
What's the? I
you're
already
out of
forgot what it
trouble.
was. I thought we were. It
When
means
you're
to be
like
out of trouble.
When you're out of trouble, what do you
Oh,
say?
I see. Oh, you're out of the woods. Is that
There
what you
we
would
go.
say?
Very good.
I've
That's
never
what
heard or
Austin
said
Schneider
that in
sang.
my
Yeah.
life.
You've never heard that yet? To be out of the woods, or we're not out of the woods just yet.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
But then people don't follow that up by saying, "All right, we're out of the woods."
I mean, in theory, you could say that though.
I guess you could. I'm just saying I've never heard
Not
it.
everyone's cool like you, Jared. Some people.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm cooler
Yep.
than everyone.
Exactly.
And If you
Exactly.
say that, you're not cool. That's exactly
fair.
what I meant. And I stick to that. My first untranslatable is Tagalog. And it's Balat Sibuyas. Sibuyas. And it's onion skin. Onion skin.
Onion skin. Is this someone who has not aged very gracefully?
No. What do you know? Have you ever bought an onion before, Chad?
Yes.
Okay. What do you know about onions? When you onion
they
that
have
you,
this. They have that little skin on it.
and how would
It's
you
really
characterize
thin.
the skin?
It's like thin and like it comes
Yeah,
off
actually,
pretty easy.
hold on.
Uh-huh.
We have an untranslatable in in English that is based off of the idea of what you said about onion skin being thin.
Having thin skin and thick skin.
Yeah, I'm gonna need more confidence from you because you just said thin
Having
skin
thick
and
skin.
To have onion skin, you would
I
say
don't
is to
know.
have thick skin when you just said onions have thin skin.
No, this would be to be very sensitive.
There you go. That's exactly what I was
That's what it
looking
means.
for.
Okay.
Yes, very good. To be an onion skin is to be a very sensitive person. You have that very flaky, thin skin.
Okay, that's fair. That's
Yeah,
fair.
very delicate. Any sort of little touch and a piece of skin.
The onion
is
skin comes
broken
off, Jared.
It's like easy. You're thin skin.
That's right. Watch
Sorry, I
out!
like that
Watch out for my
untranslatable. I think
onion
it's
skin.
perfect.
Right.
That's the one that I feel like we could use. I feel like you could. That's one we could use in English to call someone an onion skin.
Oh, for sure. Don't be
That's
such an
very
onion skin.
translatable. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Exactly. It's a real onion skin
hey,
over here.
Be careful with this guy. He's an onion skin. For sure. All right, let me give you another German one, Jared. Mit Kind und Kegel.
With children and I mean I know what kegels are in English, but I think that's a different term in German.
Yes. I believe a Kegel, is that a ball? Or is that Kugel? That might be Kugel. Let's see what they say.
Kugelschreiber is a kind of pen,
Ballpoint
but it is a
pen.
ballpoint pen. But
Kegel is a cone or
so you were so confident
pin.
in your German that you don't
a
even
pin.
prepare yourself. You just like, well, I'll know it, and then you're like, all right, I'm just gonna pick a random one.
I thought I knew it. Clearly, I did not. A pin. It looks like.
Like a bowling pin.
Yep.
So the untranslatable is a child and a what? Can you give me the German again?
Mit Kind und Kegel.
With child and bowling pin.
Yes.
You're just guessing because you don't have
No,
the
that's
literal
what that means.
translation. Oh, okay. Okay. With child and bowling pin?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I have no idea. You just like I'm just gonna say throwing a wild guess out there. Just making a random throwing up a
No. So if you travel, you could say, yeah, I traveled with mit Kind und Kegel.
with
Because
everything.
my van was okay.
fully packed.
Yeah.
I had everything I needed.
And what do
Nothing.
we say in English? What's our English untranslatable for that, Jared?
Filled to the brim.
Okay, that's one. Or I brought everything.
And your mama.
Woo. Okay, there's one way to do it. I was thinking in the kitchen sink, but okay. Yeah. Everything but the kitchen sink.
Everything but the kitchen sink.
Right?
Okay. I think I have heard that before, but I don't know it. Because I was going to say, what, everything and the kitchen sink? I was like, that makes sense too, but see, that
Right.
was, yeah. But like I would get it if I heard it, but I don't think I actually knew that untranslatable.
That's fair. Hey, time to learn something new. You know, that's the point of these
in our own
untranslatables,
language.
Jared.
In our own language. See, we don't just learn untranslatables from other languages, but in the process, we learn stuff in our own language that we can actually use now.
Exactly.
The Tongan untranslatables, they never end. I have one more, not one more. I have another one for you. Bulama Chaka. Days bring different things.
That means you just gotta carpe diem, carp them diems, bro. Seize the day. Take advantage of the day. All we have is now.
I mean, theoretically, if you're trying to get real, like, whoa, dude, with it, then yeah.
Yeah, man.
But not really.
For sure, bro.
At the end of the day, like, yeah, bro, totally. Like, you got to seize it.
Right?
But at the same time, if you're lucky today, you may not be lucky tomorrow. That's what it means.
Okay.
So I guess at the end of the day, those kind of end up to me at the same thing, but that's not really what the untranslatable was, to be fair. But I would still say you got it right, so I'm going to give it to you.
Okay. All right. Well, Jared, should we talk about some overrated and underrated summer travel destinations and activities?
We shall. I have a question for you real quick.
Yes,
As an English teacher, if you say we or I, should it not be shall? We shall, I shall. Yeah. I heard that somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Did I say something wrong?
You say should we, and I say I could there's say nothing wrong with that, I guess, theoretically, because that's how like we Americans or even just people. That's not even an American thing. That's how English speakers talk. But I heard somewhere one time that if you use I or we, it should be shall.
Shall, right.
And I never actually confirmed, so I just wanted to
Jared,
ask an English
I didn't grow up going to a fancy etiquette school.
Mother, shall we?
Like some people on this podcast, Jared. So
shall we?
What can I say?
Summer. What shall I say? Summer is here, Chad.
Yeah.
And shall I say it's gorgeous outside?
Yes, you shall. And I mean, Memorial Day is kind of at least in the U.S., it's kind of the kickoff.
Yeah, the unofficial start of summer.
Right.
And that's when they say, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is when you're allowed to start wearing white. So get out your white
I got
blazers.
my white Sambas. They're ready.
White shorts. And go to your white... Have you ever been to a white party before? That's one of my fun summer activities, good summer activities, a white party. I went to one white party one time. Oh. Guess who hosted it?
Who?
Chris Veal. Should have said his last name. Someone, Chris.
You're going to dox him now, Jared. Watch out.
Dr. Veal, I should say.
Oh,
shall I say? My
true.
cousin.
Shout out.
He hosted a white party one time, and I thought it was the dumbest thing until and I bought like a cheap blazer and some cheap white shorts, and then when I got there, I'm like, all right, this is pretty fun. I enjoyed this.
You didn't rock some pimpin' white shoes? Some pimpin' white leather shoes?
I believe at the time I had black and white Vans.
Oh,
it wasn't the checker, but it might have been like a stripe sort of black and white situation or something like that. But it had something that had white in it. But I don't think I had all white shoes fitting for the occasion, like all white leather loafers, like on P Diddy or something, or
That's
Diddy
fair.
or Sean Don. I don't know what he goes by these days.
That's true.
Artist
formerly
Chad.
known as Diddy.
Listen, as you know, in general, I'm a positive, sort of light, easy-going person. So I have a lot more good summer things than bad on my personal list of things that I would think of. I don't have lists. Once again, I know you love... I do have lists. I made my own list. I know you love lists. I have my own list of what I think is a good and bad summer. So let's start with... Do you want to start with
White
good?
Boy Summer, good or bad? No, I'm just kidding. What do you want to start with?
I actually have a maybe section where I could go both ways on it.
Okay.
Depending on how you
Hot girl summer? Yay or nay?
Listen, that's a strong yes. I never have a problem with hot anything summer. Anyone wanting to be hot, I have no problem with that.
Just hot people summer?
I have no problem with women, men, they, them. I don't have a problem with anyone wanting to be hot.
We, us.
If anyone wants to be hot, go for it. Yeah, go for it. Please.
See though, Jared, I'd rather be cool this summer. Have a cool, chill summer. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying that's the sort of summer I'd adopt, just to be clear. I'm just saying
hotness.
I have an Instagram too. Okay, so I have no... even though I don't live that, I like to live vicariously through it. I have no
I see
problems
you,
with
Jared.
the hot summer.
Hashtag
so I have
hot girl summer.
Good, bad, maybes. Do you want to just
Okay.
go through
Ooh,
start
I like
with
this.
goods?
Good, bad. Well, no. Can you toss some out there, and can I give them a good, bad, or a maybe ranking?
Sure.
Let's do it.
I'll give you my personal ranking as well.
Of course.
Amusement parks.
Oh, dude, overrated. Bad.
Yeah, I forget.
Bad.
Yeah, you don't like roller coasters. You don't like
Overpriced.
fear.
Long lines.
They are overpriced. Okay.
Crappy food.
Okay,
Overpriced
everything you're
as well.
saying is so true, but
I mean, they can be
I want to
fun,
defend
though.
them. I want to defend amusement parks, but I'm like, ooh, those are. I'm like, it's like getting punched by Mike Tyson. I'm like, yeah, I can't. There's no defense for anything you're saying right now because I agree
Right.
with all of this.
Right.
But I enjoy a cheap. It's not cheap at all. I enjoy a thrill.
Sure. Here's the thing, Jared.
So
If you want to do amusement parks, I would say don't do it during the summer. Do it when it's
That's
not
fair.
a high season, because then
That's
you
fair.
at least
It's
'cause
like tourist season.
right? You can't avoid the high prices, but
you're
you can
taking more
avoid the
risks
lines.
as far as weather goes. If you're going to do it like earlier or late, like if you're
Just
doing it
bring
in
a
fall,
poncho,
or if you're
you'll be
doing it
fine.
but some roller coasters won't run in the rain. It's not just like I can still walk around and do
Right.
everything. It's like no, the Top Thrill dragster is not going to go if it's pouring rain outside because you're going to fly off the rails
Right.
and die. I don't think that's why they won't do it, but they won't do it.
Right.
And that's sort of like the peak time, because part of it is not just, I understand like avoiding the crowds and stuff, but part of the thrill of it is the crowds to a certain extent, like that is the peak, obviously, season for these amusement parks. And in my head, just so everyone knows, Chad and I, we're from Michigan, sort of the Metro Detroit. Chad's a little bit out of Metro Detroit, but, Metro Detroit area. For us, when we hear amusement park, I would say for the most part,
Cedar Point.
yes, that is where most of
That's
like
in
the
what,
Metro
like
Detroit,
Sandusky, Ohio. Or
yeah, which
something
is
like
about
that?
2.5, 3 hours away from us.
For a Midwesterner, that's just a quick little car ride. By the way,
A hop and a skip, hop, skip, and a jump.
Yep.
And and it's also, to be fair, it is on many different like measurements, considered one of the best amusement parks in the world. So it's
It's quite
I do
some
enjoy it.
crazy rides there.
I
for
do
sure.
enjoy it. So I understand you don't like amusement parks. You've probably been to amusement parks where your job is to hold people's shit, and I can understand that that's not that fun. And you're like, well, at least I can get some ice cream, some dots, and some fries, and next
Give me
thing
some
you
of
know,
that
you're
blue cotton candy.
$50
Jared.
cheaper, or broker, I should say.
Right.
No, I agree. The food is ridiculously priced.
Terrible for you. Tasty,
If you
but terrible
if you
for
play
you.
your cards right, Chad. Now, last time I went to Cedar Point, which was admittedly years ago, what we did was we brought
Smuggled food in.
No, you're allowed to leave the premises, but you're not allowed to leave the parking lot, I think. Or if you are, no, you can even leave the parking lot, but you get a stamp. You bring stuff, and you bring like a cooler, and you put it in your car.
There you
and then
go, a
just
little
go to
tailgate.
the car. Yeah, and you have a little tailgate, exactly. And that's a whole
pre-Cedar Point tailgate. Just
that's a
don't
whole
eat too
sort of
much.
environment in itself, is the tailgate at the Cedar Point parking lot. You wouldn't know that because you avoid Cedar Point at all costs.
Last time I was there, Jared, I think I had to have been like 9 or 10.
Which is ridiculous because at that point you're not even tall enough to like, you're saying you don't like
I went
roller
on the
coasters.
kiddie rides,
Exactly,
basically.
but you're
Yeah.
not even tall enough or old enough to enjoy
Right.
an amusement park, and you're just basing all of this off of a childhood perceptions.
I'm just
which,
not into
no
roller
offense,
coasters, man.
And as I'm saying, you're basing this off of 9-year-old Chad perceptions, which I find, admittedly, I'm sorry, a little ridiculous.
I don't know how you could even say I'm basing it off of
Because
perceptions.
you said
from
you haven't
that
been to
age.
an amusement park since you were 9.
Well, no, I was at Disney Shanghai last January,
And the biggest roller coaster is what?
they had a couple of good sized roller
1/8
coasters there.
scale size roller coaster of what you could find at Cedar Point.
Well, look, there were no dragsters there, but there were some roller coasters.
What about Millennium Force size? Which is at this point,
I don't think
10
so.
plus year exactly. Millennium Force came out in Millennium 2000. That's a 20 plus
20
year old
years
roller
old,
coaster,
yeah.
and there's nothing as big as the Millennium Force. And you're going to compare Cedar Point to Disney Shanghai, and not even the American Disneys are anywhere close to. Forget Cedar Point. Half of the Six Flags in the United States. Listen, I've been to a lot of amusement parks in my day, clearly.
Right. All right, what else do you got for me,
I've been
Jared?
to Six Flags in Colorado, Texas, Virginia, I believe, and maybe New Jersey. I can't say for sure. Maybe not. No, I haven't, because that's where the King of Ka is, but I haven't. Anyway, all right. You're not into amusement parks, meaning the roller coaster style. I have one more style of amusement park for you, the water park. How do you feel about the water park, Chad?
They're fun. I like water parks.
You're a fan of the water park?
I mean, they're okay. The thing with water parks, though, is once again, if it's super crowded, it's just abysmal, I feel like.
Do you enjoy the water park rides, Chad?
I like the slides. I like the lazy river. I like
the slides
pool.
where you like put your hands across you and you go down like that. And then what about the ones where you're in a tube?
Oh, those are fun too. Yeah, I
you like those?
Those
okay.
are good.
All right. Now, for me, Chad, water park is firmly in the bad category.
Really? Okay.
I would. I don't. If I had a free water park experience given to me, I'd still have to seriously consider it.
Okay.
Water parks to me are one of the most disgusting experiences one could ever experience. The lazy river or the lazy river is a fun concept. I've been on a lot of real rivers, like the river that we had. I don't remember what the river was, but the river that goes through our college campus, Albion College.
Kalamazoo River.
Yes, on the Kalamazoo River. I've done a lazy river experience on that. That's a lot of fun. I love it. But amusement parks are disgusting. Wave pools, in theory, are fun. Disgusting. I hate the water park rides where you have where there's no tube and you do the cross your hands and go down, because I've never really been able to figure out how to not have water just shoot directly into my face.
That's true.
Like I'm like you're in a dishwasher. It's just directly shooting into my face. And I can't tell you how many times I've been in that experience where it's shooting into your face and then you hit the water. And the water parks are literally, I'm not even kidding, the only place I've had the experience of being in water and being confused on up and down. You know that feeling where you maybe once or twice in the pool that's happened, but in general that really only happens at water parks for me, when I have that experience of water shooting into my face. And then you land into a pool just disoriented as fuck. And then on top of that, we get to the rides with the tubes. If you go around those, every sort of turn, I feel like I'm about to fly out the side of it and be and the tube's going to be my only sort of safety measure as I go down 50 feet. When I'm on a roller coaster at Cedar Point or any sort of amusement park, that is legitimate science at work there. That is legitimate physics
crazy.
At work there. That's not just there's a lot more science, I feel like, that goes into keeping me safe on a roller coaster than on a water park ride. And I just feel like they're gross. I can't tell you how many just Band-Aids you come across.
That's true.
Oh my gosh, it's disgusting, and disgusting, and you. And
Wait,
you
Jared,
still have
do you think
same.
it's disgusting?
It's disgusting, and you still have the same price gouging that you have at amusement parks.
That's fair.
No different.
That's fair.
So I'm going to say a hard pass. It takes a lot to get me to go to an amusement park, and if I do, I'm going to
a water park.
I'm not a water park. Yes, if
getting
I do,
tickets and inviting you to a water park one of these days, Jared.
I mean, even at an amusement park, the water rides, like the Splash Mountain kind of rides where you go down a log cabin or a log sort of fake log thing that's like a roller coaster into a splash. Those are the worst rides because you're soaked for a bit, and then if it's sunny out, you'll get dry, sure, but then you smell disgusting. You smell like a sewage. I don't know. That's all I got. You smell like sewage.
Okay, fair enough. Give us some other ones.
Rooftop bar.
I'll rate it a maybe. I'll give it a maybe.
So I love how, dude. Why are we friends? Why? There is no overlap so far on things that we'd be interested in doing.
For you, it's a yes.
I mean, I'll give it a yes, but I hear you at the maybe because it's easy to run into. And I've run into. I like the idea of a rooftop bar where you're at a bar, you could sit down and chill, but you have the outdoor experience. But I guess when you say bar, there's a fine line between bar and club. and I've certainly been to some rooftop bars, quote unquote,
that
are really
club
straddling that line, and you got to fight for a seat. And the music is a little too and it's like the clientele is a little I don't know, it's just like it's a little too young or whatever.
And if you want a beer, it's going to be something really basic and like $8.
Right, yeah. This Corona is $8, but if you want a Yards or whatever, I'm trying to think.
Fjords.
Yards is such a random one. That's a sort of a nice Philadelphia brand. I was trying to think of a nice brand. For some reason, I thought of a place I haven't lived in years. But anyway, if you want like a slightly nicer beer, like a Heineken, that'll be $10. And it's like, and it's like, first of all, you consider this nicer, and also this is not worth it. But if the vibe is right, where you can just go in and sit down and it be a chill environment, like a proper bar environment. I love the idea. All right, you know what? You convinced me. I put it in the good category. I'm moving it to maybe because I've been to both styles. I've been to ones that are chill and fun, but I've also been to ones that are more sort of club style. And I'm like, this is a little too much. Like I feel like my clothes aren't cool enough for this place kind of vibe. But let me just say this real quick. The idea of it, I love. The idea of sitting in like a bar area, but you're outside during the day in like a travel location like Chicago, Philadelphia, these are like these city. It's a great city thing to do.
Right, sure.
I've been to one in New York too, when I think about it.
Here's my thing though, Jared, about rooftop bars. To me, they scream pricey or expensive because a lot of them are.
That's true. That's true.
And I will tell you what I would prefer is I would rather chill at a nice beer garden outside, do that instead of a rooftop bar, especially if the beer garden has like some nice shade, maybe a little bit of music. It's a nice summer day out.
I mean, you're right. Just the simple economics of it, the idea of having a rooftop bar costs a lot more.
Take the elevator all the way up, probably.
It's a lot more of a swanky situation, which generally I feel like I'm not on board with, and I feel like you're now converting me to like a maybe leaning towards no, because when I hear beer garden, I do think of a cheaper environment.
You can wear your shorts, your lederhosen, your tank top.
I'm not going to wear my lederhosen, but I hear you. I think I'm with you. I think the beer garden is the better choice. Yep. But I'll say this: in Philadelphia, at least where I lived, there were nice sort of middle grounds where where the prices, where it was like a rooftop situation,
a balcony bar,
but the prices would not be crazy, and there would be like big sort of green open area, and it was actually the one I could think of. I can't remember what it was called because it's been a while since I've lived there, but it was the top floor of a parking structure. And so it wasn't like some fancy like hotel or some fancy like I don't know, conference building or office building or whatever. And it had like a big sort of green open area. And I'll say the food was kind of subpar, but beer and drinks were I would say, at least for a city, there probably was still too much for you. But you could get a beer for like $6, I'll say, $5-6, which I think is fair-ish.
You know what, Jared, just because I'm a cheapskate and I prefer to go to the grocery store and buy my beer and drink it while I'm camping doesn't mean I don't mind once in a while paying a little bit more for a good beer at a place with some good ambiance.
It seems like it's for the best that you never visit me in Philly, because I feel like I'd be very concerned.
We'd spend too much money.
All right, I have another one for you. Grilling.
Yeah, I think grilling is a great summer activity.
Do you have any confidence in your grilling ability, though?
I mean, right now it's just basic campfire grilling, Jared. I haven't really done any other grilling.
Do you find any shame in just your this is a leading question. If I were in court, this question would be thrown out. Do you find any shame in just your constantly admitting that you literally have no idea how to cook anything other than something that's pre-cooked?
Nope.
No? All right.
I mean, I can cook the basic stuff.
The confidence. The basic stuff being a piece of sausage.
Sure. Or chicken.
Oh, so you are confident with chicken?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I could cook burgers too.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Wouldn't be that hard.
Okay. Okay. I don't know. I really don't know. I've never
experienced. Not that hard.
You'll cook an egg?
Sure. Not that
Chad,
hard.
you're blowing my mind right now. I honestly didn't know you would even attempt. I guess eggs, I believe that makes sense. I feel like chicken it would be on the line for me, because I know there's
Did
there's
you
a
not
chance that
see
she
me
could die.
cook chicken breast when we were at Albion?
I don't know, maybe. I don't know. But grilling is fun. When I have a grill, I'm actually wondering. I should probably follow up and figure this out. But I'm curious if I have movers coming because I'm moving soon. I've been robbed, and and I have a grill, and I don't know. I wonder if the movers will take it, and I really hope they do because it doesn't fit in my car. I'm not putting a freaking grill in my car, so I got to figure that out. But grilling is fun. Last summer, I most of any meat that I cooked was on the grill, whether it needed to be or not. I'm like, it can be, and I'm gonna do it. Nice. I love the just being outside. I love to crack a beer and just stand outside. Put a chair outside, hammock, as Midwesterners say, but I say hammock. Apparently, some people say hammock. I've heard people say that. I've heard like Midwesterner people say like Indiana people. So I love the idea of grilling. I do love that. Would you ever, Chad, at your home, just be like, hey, I'm going to cook some meat for myself and grill up some meats for yourself?
Sure.
Okay. You know what? I'll admit that I think... No, you're not blowing my mind, but I will admit that I feel like I underestimate your abilities. And not abilities, but what you do. And I apologize for that because I have one more that involves...
cooking?
No, not cooking, but just... curious
abilities?
About yes or not. Let's abilities but like, have you ever done this before?
Let's hear it.
Classic summer activity that at least since I've lived here, where I have like a proper yard at this place for the past 2 years, like I rent this house or
backyard
whatever.
camping.
There's a real yard. No. Yard work. Have you ever had to pull weeds or like chop trim the
trees
of trees and stuff?
Break leaves. Oh yeah.
Dude, that is a summer activity right there that I've now learned.
Hard work.
If you live in any sort of place that has a yard or like a plant space that you're responsible for, it's just a constant not a constant, but like the longer you put it off, the more you're. Like last year, I was out in my backyard for days, just chopping with the shears, putting into the paper bags, just these trees that in winter disappear, and then as soon as the weather starts to turn nice, they just grow like zombies that just got bitten. It's just like this they just overtakes them, and they just grow so fast, and it's just annoying process where you have to chop stuff down, and then you have to pull weeds. And I remember when I was a kid, there was time when I would just I would look outside and just be like, oh God, my parents are gonna tell me to go outside and do this, and I'm just gonna have to begrudgingly, sadly, go out here and do this work.
Right.
And now that I'm someone that's in a position where I have to do it for myself, the feeling has not changed, except I have to tell myself to do it, and I'm now just swearing on myself about the hatred of having to do it. So that's
Are you going to have a fire pit at your new place? In your backyard?
I think so. But I have like a little it's not a deck, but it's like a wooden sort of like platform area in the backyard, like a square like platform area where you can put furniture and stuff. I think my thought was to buy like one of those fire pit things that's like that you can like pick up and put there and put the stuff into it. I'll probably do one of those.
Nice.
But I haven't done enough research into that. I think we can both agree there's no real debate that yard work is bad.
Yep.
That's in the firm bad.
Yep.
But I would say people might disagree because I know people are obsessed with their appearance of their lawn. I mean, you live in probably a neighborhood where people.
Oh yeah, my neighbors
just about
spend too
everyone
much time mowing
in your
their lawns,
neighborhood is obsessed with their lawn and their presentation.
Right.
And any sort of subdivision like we're used to in the suburbs where we're from, people are obsessed with that sort of presentation.
All right, Jared. Let me ask you a couple and get your rating. Traveling to a very hot tourist destination like Paris or Cairo or New York or Hollywood. What are your thoughts on that? Good, maybe, or bad?
Nah, I'm a cheapskate like you. I know I got on you for being a cheapskate, but I am too at the end of the day. And I mean, Chad's out here as we talked about last episode, specifically looking for a Lufthansa flight to Germany, which is
bougie,
known to be one of the more expensive flights to Europe. But
you get what you pay for, Jared.
Last year during the pandemic, I had a flight. Actually, it just came up past the year anniversary of when I would have been in Europe last year, and I think that I felt like I was just early enough in early May where I was really avoiding the bum rush of it. But I felt like even then, even May is sort of pushing it. I feel like March is good. I feel like March is a good time where it's not going to be freezing. But it's not tourist. It's not full on tourist season. That's generally, if we're going to what in northern hemisphere places, I should say, because I guess it's different if you're in Australia or South or at parts of Africa or whatever, or South America where they're the southern hemisphere. But anyway, I'm with you on that.
I'd say the big tourist destinations.
I'm with you on that.
Are better, right? I'd say those are better off being visited in the low season.
Personally, when it comes to summer, I think that it's we're from. I feel like that's a great time to stay domestic. Honestly, because I think no matter where you're from, cities of any size focus on like activities. Like here in Ferndale, there's the Ferndale Art Show. In Royal Oak, there's Arts Beats and Eats, or I believe it's in Royal Oak.
When is that? Has that happened yet?
I think that's July-ish. I think that's later. There's a Dream Cruise in August. And these are all things that are local to me personally.
We should check some of those out.
Sure. I mean, listen, for the longest time since I've lived in Michigan, the Dream Cruise has been more of a thing that's unavoidable rather than, hey, I should check that out. It's like, I can't not check it out.
That's
but
true.
I love it. I mean, listen, I love it, especially if I'm not driving. I love it, and that's what I love about living where I live, where I could enjoy it and not have to drive to it, because any sort of experience with Woodward around that time is a shit show. But that's what I love about summer is that that the local activities are there. You don't need to. I think that's the best time for you not to have to go seek out activities or seek something out, because it's like every sort of city that has any sort of meaning to it or any sort of amount of population to it is putting on some sort of activities of their own. Dexter, where you live, they have some sort of Dexter things. Dexter is about as small as a city as a town, as you always like to talk about how they used to be a town just a couple of years ago.
Be a village, bro.
A village, excuse me.
Yeah.
It's like so even the smallest of places focus on sort of fun activities to get people together. So I think I agree with you. There's no reason to try to go on these far away journeys in peak time when you could do a lot of fun stuff just around you.
Especially a lot of these, because concerts will be coming back at some point, and like these big music festivals, I feel like a lot of times, I think they're kind of overrated. Like, yeah, sure, it's probably cool to see some of these artists live, but I think what's more fun, and I like the cheapness of it too, is seeing local bands, like going to your local jazz fest or blues fest or summer or whatever. A lot of towns have different stuff.
There were a couple or outdoor bar or two that I've been to that were known for having like bands that would play, that mid-afternoon time. And that's a good vibe. Now, I'll say this. You mentioned music festivals, and I'm with you in general that the idea of a music festival just seems like something that's really not my thing. There's the accommodations are limited. You're packed in. You're surrounded by drunkards and people on drugs. And your food sources are terrible. No one showers for days. But I put music festivals in maybe.
Okay.
Because I've never been to any sort of music festival.
Really?
No.
We should go to one. That'd be
that's
fun.
What I'm saying. It seems like a fun thing to experience.
You got to try it at least
even
once.
Though I've never been to one and it doesn't seem like my thing, I'm still drawn to them, and it still seems like something that I feel like I got to experience and that would be a fun thing to experience. So I put it in a maybe because I've never been to one. It's certainly not something I can't imagine, and maybe I'd be wrong, but I personally can't imagine that after I experience one, it's good. Like, I kind of make a point to try to, get out of the country at least once every couple of years. I couldn't imagine that would be something I would do with music festivals. Where it's like, well, now I got to go to Bonnaroo or Lollapalooza or Electric Forest every year. I got to do it. I can't see that happening, but it's
never know.
It's still something that I really want to at least experience once or twice in my life.
You might catch that festival bug, Jared.
That's true, and that's why I put it in a maybe. That's a bold thing to put into a firm no.
We'll start you off small. We'll start you off small. Do maybe a day-long festival. See what you think about that.
You know what a good start would be? Also, I think, although it's pricier already, is the city festival. So there's Lollapalooza or Made in America, which is a hip-hop sort of music festival in Philly. And so I've experienced both of those from outside of the barriers, but it's in a city, so you can hear the music happening.
Right.
And so I have experience, but obviously it's nowhere close to the experience of actually being within the barriers. But so I have gotten I feel like even though they're pricier, a lot pricier, unless you have a way to not have to pay for accommodations. But the city ones like Lollapalooza and Made in America do seem like a nice sort of step into it. And then it's all right, I see what I'm getting into. Now I'm ready for one where I go to California. I'm in a desert. And I'm rented a
tent and other camping gear,
Jeep, or was it a Dodge Grand Caravan that I got to live out of for a weekend.
There we go.
And
I'll meet you there with
showering.
My van.
And now everyone's banging and everyone's gross and smelly, but we're just doing it because we're all on sorts of
drugs.
As
long as everyone's gross and smelly, Jared, that's all that matters.
Yeah, I'm not ready for that level yet at all.
Let me give you a couple, or go ahead.
Sure.
You got another one?
I got another one for you. What about whitewater rafting? Have you ever been whitewater rafting before?
I'm cool with doing some kayaking down a smooth river, but I'm not whitewater rafting. Just nope.
Now I put kayaking on my list too, and I think for me both of those are in yeses.
Okay.
Now to be fair, I have whitewater rafted a number of times for me, so I think the fear level of it is down because I have family in Colorado, so that would be sort of and I would go there every summer. Like back in the day when I was in high school and middle school. So that would be sort of an activity that my cousins would take us to do. And so to me, I guess maybe it's a little less scary, but it's a fun activity, dude. And I've never had any close to bad experiences, even when I got hurt. I've never gotten hurt. Maybe I've fallen out once, if that.
Okay.
But it's fun. But I agree with you. Kayaking or canoeing down a river is a lot more of a chill experience. You can bring beers.
Right.
You could chill out in the sun and just lay back. Whitewater rafting is active rivers that are fast moving. There's no chilling aspect of it.
I'll also say this too, Jared, with the whitewater rafting or kayaking, I do think one thing that me personally is a little bit overrated is just floating down the river. Like on an inner tube, for me, I would much rather float down a river in a kayak or a canoe versus floating down on an inner tube. I don't get why people are so crazy about that, but that's just me.
I remember, what was it? Must have been 2 years ago. Yeah, it was 2 years ago in June, July. I went to, was it Ann Arbor? What is it, the Huron River?
Yep.
There's a area where you can rent stuff, and I kayaked with my sister down the Huron River. And, Huron River is a chill river. There's no point where you're really, testing any of your limits. And it was a great time. That's definitely something that I would do again. I have another one for you.
Let's hear it.
Now, you're really starting to expose your lack of experience. You need to get out more, Chad, because there's so many things where you're no. What about this one? Drive-in movies.
Oh, yeah, I'd be down for that. I've never done that before.
You've never done it before?
I'd be down for it.
Damn, dude. What have you done? You need to get out more.
My van would be perfect.
You're old, Chad. Old. You're 30, and
what?
Time is...
I'm not 30 yet.
Life is moving.
Give me my couple last months.
You're 29 and 11 months.
Change.
I'm just making stuff up. You're very close to 30, and I feel like there's a lot of experiences that need to be had. You can't live in this life of fear.
Yeah,
not that you're afraid of driving movies, but I've been to a couple driving movies. It's the best. The only reason I put it into movies, or excuse me, maybe, is because you got to be with with someone. To me, a drive-in movie is a great like romantic situation. I don't want to go with my bros. I don't want to go by myself. I don't know. Maybe it's also primarily the only way I've experienced it. I guess I've been with family before, and it wasn't that bad. So let's be fair. That wasn't that bad.
I feel like my van would work pretty well for that.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Yeah. That would be perfect. Yeah. You could even put it sideways and have like an awning.
That's what I was thinking.
And just sit outside as well, not even have to sit in the van. That would be nice too. True. And have like a little area for yourself.
I got my tarp poles for my awning, by the way. So
nice. So what I did when I went is I'm a hatchback person. I've had multiple hatchbacks in my day of driving. And it's perfect. You can like sort of put down the back seats and have an area where you can almost be like partially sitting up and look through the back windshield and look out to the windows. So drive-in is a perfect summer activity. I love it. And now all I need to give myself is, it is summer, so it's perfect. It's perfect like a hot whatever summer. So let me give me some hot whatever. And hey, let's get into the back of my hatchback.
There we go.
Here's another one I have. You have some too. I don't mean to. Please go ahead.
You're good.
Please. I'm
my actually this is my final one for you for today.
Okay.
Which is what are your thoughts actually on like tanning, just like laying on the beach and tanning? Overrated, good, bad, maybe
complicated.
Okay.
I like the idea of it's more tanning. No, I'm black.
Okay.
There's no. I don't really see the benefit personally of like getting this dark skin because I'm black. It's already there. So tanning specifically, no, there's no need.
Well, Jared, but for your melanin challenged brothers over here, I would say that. I have a weird relationship with tanning. The way I look at tanning is if you want to just go relax and I mean it does feel good to just lay in the sun, that's fine, but I think the idea of tanning, like if you're just outside, just go outside and do something and you can still get tan while you do something,
That's what I'm getting at. Tanning specifically is a weird way to word it. I see the benefit and I enjoy going to a beach and just lying in the sun and doing nothing. Mm-hmm. I could 100% get on board with that. Actually, I did that like a year or two ago in Ludington, and it was great.
Nice.
I guess I don't do it. Tanning is not in my head as why I'm doing it because I'm not. You speak for your whites. You white people are enjoy the idea of looking dark.
Yep.
But that's a novelty for you guys, and it's like, at least as far as I know, there's not a lot of black people that are like, I'm trying to get darker in the sun. There's colorism is an issue and all these things, but the idea of sitting in the sun on a beach is very enjoyable to me. Honestly, almost more than going into the water, especially if we're talking about an ocean. I almost enjoy the idea of just hanging out on the beach than actually going in. But it is sort of annoying. Sand's annoying, sure.
It's everywhere. It's like glitter. It's nature's glitter.
I went to Chicago a couple of years ago with the homies, and we went to Lake Michigan, and we were on the beach, and we had some adult beverages.
Nice.
The furthest I went into the water was probably up to my knees. There were people around us. It was a hot person summer. There were people around us playing volleyball. It was a cool vibe. I like that. Mm-hmm. I like it. But I put it into a maybe because I'm not really a beach fan to the point where like the water does anything for me. I like the vibe and I like the not doing anything aspect of it. I'm going to be honest with you. You don't like the idea of not doing anything. You need to be doing something.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, if I was on the beach, if I'm just sitting there,
there's nothing to do on the beach. What are you going to do?
I can only sit there for like half an hour. I'd be reading.
No.
I'd have a book.
Now maybe this is
unless I take a nap.
This is maybe a little bit of a like into my psyche, but if there's like drinks and there's stuff going on, then I can hang out for a bit, especially if I'm not alone and you're like with friends and you're chit chatting. I can it's a hang, I can hang. You can't hang. You can't sit down and hang.
Well, that's
you and
different.
I'm thinking
of tanning
and hang.
I'm thinking more like tanning. You're just like. you're there, and like a lot of times when people tan, it's like they
but
put
when
on
you
their
say tanning,
sunglasses.
you make it seem like you're focused on an objective.
That's right. I got to
I'm never
focus on
focused
tanning, bro.
As I said once again, me as a black person, my objective as when I go to a beach is never to specifically hit the right spots and angles so I get the right amount of dark and the right evenness. That's never a consideration or concern for me, or I'd imagine most of my my Negro brethren. That sounds like a specifically white thing, very concerned with how the tan turns out.
Sure.
I feel
Can't be
like
having tan lines, Jared.
I feel like black people are more concerned with not getting burned and like sort of protecting themselves against the sun rather than like this idea of like, oh, I need to get nice and dark in the sun. But I don't know. That's just what my guess is. So I put beach in maybe. I put it in maybe. I have some more for you. Oh, well, we already know one that how could you not even mention this? Camping excursions.
Oh, that's a yes. That's 100% yes.
But is it though? Because if you did not have this van and you just had your Crown Vic, which honestly is a perfect camping vehicle if you're willing to use a tent. There's plenty of space in the Crown Vic to put all of your camping needs.
Oh, for sure.
Would you be camping as much as anywhere close to as much as you are right now? I think
As
that's
much,
a maybe
probably
for you.
not.
Probably not as much, but anywhere close to as much.
I think maybe. I mean, you remember last year I had been talking about wanting to go camping, and I just never did. One, because I didn't have the equipment. I've still even thought about buying a tent for even with the van, on certain nights. If it's really nice out, just, there's a really nice Coleman pop-up tent that it looks like you basically pull like 2 or 3 levers and then poof, your tent's right there.
It does seem like we're past the point of having to put tents up at,
Right.
Now it's like tent in a cup or whatever.
Yep.
All right, I have one more bad one for you. This is my final one. I take that back. I have one more bad and I have a maybe for you.
Okay.
Which would you prefer first and
Bad.
second? A bad or a maybe? All right, bad first. Cruise ships.
Oh yeah, nope. Especially not during the summer. Do that during
time
the winter.
of the year. There are winter cruises. There are cruises more popular in winter and summer. I'm interested in none of them.
That's fair.
None of them.
That's fair. I don't blame
Forget
you.
COVID. They're breeding grounds for disease.
All sorts of things.
And yeah, I said I like hanging out at a beach, but the good thing about a beach is when I'm ready, I can also leave and go somewhere. I don't like the idea of being contained to just like this little like ship of gluttony for a couple of weeks.
Jared's
or
just
days
afraid
or
of being
whatever.
left behind on the island that they visit. That's really what Jared's fear is.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I'm gonna leave my
Just 20 years
passport on
later.
the ship, and they're halfway back to Miami
Right.
or whatever. Now the maybe
It's like,
that
Jared,
I had,
why are you still living in Tahiti? Well, I got stuck here 20 years ago and I just
I mean,
never
that
left.
doesn't sound that bad. Depending on how that works out, maybe
Right.
maybe that's not that bad. Now the maybe I have the final one is it's sports. Now it's 2 specific sports.
Okay.
Baseball games and then the beginning of football season is specifically what I think about. And I put that in a maybe because for me, especially baseball games, but football games to an extent too, the best experience for me is going with people that also don't care about the game. I don't want to go to a baseball game with someone that really cares and we got to stay for the whole 9+ innings for 3+ hours. I like someone that's not really that interested and just likes the vibe. It's a vibe. It's a vibe.
It's
as
a
they say.
vibe.
And so I like the vibe of it, but I like to be ready to go after 2 hours or, and not have to stay for the
7th inning
whole
stretch and then
3.5
just bounce.
hours. Exactly. I don't want to stay for the whole 3.5 hours. And the same thing goes for football games. I went to a football game with one of my friends who will not be mentioned, Don Strite. And he's a U of M super
Just
fan.
a little bit.
And it was raining. Now this wasn't summer, but it was raining.
Who are they
And
playing?
We were in Utah and they were playing University of Utah.
Oh, that's the one they lost too, wasn't it?
Yeah, to a team that they shouldn't be losing to against a team that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. It was pouring rain. We had terrible rain protection, and we had to stay for the whole thing. And I was just sitting there miserable since about like halfway through the second quarter or whatever. Or excuse me, there's 2 halves, isn't there in college football?
Yep.
Like part of the
4
way through the
quarters,
first
yeah.
half. There's 4
Right.
quarters. But anyway, it was terrible. I hated it. And so, like, I hate, and the same thing with baseball. It has nothing to do with the weather, but if you're there with someone that actually cares, like, I don't really want to stay for the entire 9 innings for,
Right.
honestly, any baseball game that I ever go to. Because I
That's
don't
fair.
really care about the team or the sport. I just enjoy the vibe, and it's cool to have that aspect of something to look at while it's like a cool thing to look at while you're at a bar.
Right.
But as Jared, you said, though, it's also maybe because much like the amusement parks, it's ridiculously expensive you get a beer. It's like, all right, that'll be $10.
Right.
It's
I
like,
will
right,
say this about sports games, though.
We're talking about.
I think you're better off. I would say overall professional sports games are overpriced and kind of overrated. But if you can find minor league or college events, that I think is the way to do it.
Minor league is the secret because college you can't buy booze at college games.
True.
Minor league you can buy booze and everything is cheap, and it's just like a more chill environment in general. I've been to one or two minor league games in my day. Honestly, I wish I've been to more, but I have heard and know, like especially as an adult. I've never been as an adult, but I do know. That is a great, like, sort of chill vibe. Some of them you can even bring your own coolers, Like, you can bring your own stuff, which is even cheaper and better. And so I agree with you. I think minor league is the real underrated there. I don't think college is the underrated. I think minor league is. That's a good call.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all I got. That was my final one.
Well, Jared, I think we could talk about destinations, but I think we should save that for another episode and talk more about...
we covered activities today.
Exactly.
And we can do destinations later.
Another time, exactly. But yeah, for sure. I think that the key with, for me at least, the key with like a good summer activity, I like them to be cheap. You know me, I like them to be affordable or cheap. I like to take advantage of that beautiful weather outside. So, if you're into like bike riding or skateboarding or even going for a walk, hiking, I'm actually really excited, Jared. I'm getting some nicer hiking boots. I wanted something that was a little bit higher up on my ankle, just get a little bit better ankle support. I'm getting older, Jared, so can't be twisting my ankle in the middle of nowhere and getting stuck somewhere. Right?
Does anybody hear me?
Exactly.
I hear you.
And lo and behold, I just had like cell phone service the whole time. Could have just sent a text message.
Or you just stand up and you're like, oh, actually, I'm good. I can walk this.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, I mean, so doing stuff outside, I think, is always a good kind of summer plan.
For sure.
Oh, one last thing, though, Jared. I know I mentioned a last thing earlier, but I think seltzers are one of the most overrated like summer drinks. Like it seems like when summertime rolls around, you start seeing more ads for, the new Corona seltzer or whatever.
I am a fan of summer drinks. My summer drink that I would go to is a homemade one, and that involves a Topo Chico, which is a very great summer drink in general.
Water?
It's a Mexican sparkling water. Did you say spicy water?
I did, yeah.
It's sparkling. There's no added
spicy
spices or anything.
It's got some sparkle, some snap to it, some bite.
You put some tequila in there, squeeze some limes, maybe some lemon if you want, and then if you're interested, I might recommend it. Just a light bit of some level of sweetener, whatever you might choose. Even if you just like put a little bit of simple or basic sugars in there, or simple syrup as they call it. It's a great drink. It's as simple as it gets. So summer drinks is a fun one. Oberon
Gin tonic.
Oberon's out now. Although I realize I'm not a huge fan of Oberon, to be honest with you.
It's okay. I'm kind of there with you.
It is okay, and it's not even really something that I'm that big of a fan of. But it is hard for me to go summer in Michigan without being like, I gotta get at least one Oberon.
Right. Well, at some point, even when we go to an outdoor bar, I might get one on tap because it's not too bad from tap.
Sure, it's just not my favorite, but that's what I love about summer. Is like there's these very specific summer things where it's like I don't even really love this beer, but I love what it represents.
Another
which is why
summer
they do it
thing
like that.
that I think we'll see now somewhat this summer are some of those festivals and open air concerts and activities. Definitely planning on checking some of those out. So for sure.
All right.
Well, Jared, I think we've covered our overrated, underrated summer activities. Hit the campgrounds, people. Check out some of these festivals, and we hope everyone has a great summer. So let us know what some of your favorites, especially some maybe underrated or uncommon summer activities at untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com. You can slide into those DMs on Twitter, untranslatable1, the number 1. Also check us out on Instagram and YouTube, Untranslatable Podcast. And please 5-star reviews on iTunes and Stitcher. Let us know how we can make this podcast better for you. So as we say here at the Untranslatable Podcast, dziękujemy, muchas gracias, shisha, and do svidania. Hot Untranslatable Summer.
I wish. That would be nice.
Pretty soon we'll have your new Untranslatable studio, right? The new Jared Cave.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be as good though.
Why not?
It's just it's no Harry Potter closet. It's a guest room. I'm gonna have to try to
build an extension out of the side of your house that's just the size of the Harry Potter closet.
It's a perfect idea.
Great.
That solves it.
Or we can build you a he shed.
A he shed?
A he shed.
The man cave and a she shed.
That's right.
Yeah, I do have a shed.
There you go.
I certainly would not want to record a podcast in there.
How much for rent? Can I stay in your shed? How much for rent?
No, I don't think there's anything that can get you out of your parents' house. Well, I'd probably have to pay you.
Yep. How much you gonna pay me?